Well, Happy New Year's from Ken Cody Investigations. I know it's still early, but boy, I'll tell you, for the first 2 weeks of this month, it's been quite interesting around the country. Thoughts out to those folks out in California. Tired of hearing people saying they're all a bunch of rich Hollywood stars. Don't feel sorry for them. You know, there are some Hollywood stars out there that have been affected and they lost their $1 million mansions. They've got the money. They will rebuild. But there are common folks out there that aren't rich, that aren't Hollywood elite. They were born and raised out in the area. So let's have a little compassion for those, the ones that really need the help, the assistance, and the prayers. Haven't forgotten you folks out there in North Carolina either. I know the government, well, we're not even going to get into that part of it, but we wish you all well. Hey, I just wanted to touch bases about where we are at Ken Cody Investigations for 2025, what our goals are. And our number one goal is expansion, expansion, expansion. We want to be able to expand, maybe get some additional staff under us. We cover a broad spectrum of investigations, from murders, missing people, PIP insurance, personal injury protection for insurance companies, workers' comp. We do defense investigations on behalf of public defenders. We do a lot of background checks for landlords, for lawyers. We do a lot of skip tracing. We find the missing. We reunite people. We just reunited a lady, hadn't seen her mom in 47 years. We were thrilled to be able to assist in reuniting her and her mom. So we do a little bit of everything. You name it, we do it. But this video, I want to touch bases on the local, which is not me being local, but, well, that's debatable. But that would be the state of Michigan private investigator license requirements. I get a lot of requests about that. I even have people from out of state, some of my clients ask me, hey, what do you need to get your PI license out there in Michigan? Well, we're a little bit on the unique side when it comes to getting your license out here. Some states require you to take an exam. You got to get a certain score on it. In Michigan, there's no exam. There are 3 options that you can use to obtain your license. Number 1, if you are a former law enforcement officer for 3 years or more, you are eligible to get your PI license in Michigan. However, if you are still working in law enforcement, you have to get a letter of approval from your superior. Conflict of interest, I don't know why, but they require that. If you're not a law enforcement officer or a former one, the other avenue that you could take is if you have worked 3 years or more full-time for a licensed private investigator. Very important. I have received calls from people saying, Ken, I really want to get my PI license. I'm not a former law enforcement officer. I don't have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, which we'll touch bases on that in a second. Can you just lie for me and tell them that I worked for you 3 years? And the answer is no. Number 1, if you want to be a private investigator, you better have some integrity. If you're going to lie from the get-go, from the starting gate, we really don't like to see you type of people in the industry. You really have to have integrity, because 99% of the time, as a private investigator, you are working by yourself. And that's where integrity comes in. If you can't be honest to yourself or to the clients, go find another career. Do something different. You really have to do what is right. And your client is paying you good money, which is good money in private investigations, no doubt about it. But you have to earn it. And you have to earn that trust. And if you don't have it, forget it. Word gets out very quickly. I know a newly licensed private investigator that has zero integrity, constantly gets caught up in lies, tells the client one thing on Monday, on Tuesday says something completely different, plays the trick games with their cameras, setting the dates and times out. Yep, I was there at that time. You know, you're not fooling anybody but yourself. But anyway, going back, so that was the second one. If you are 3 years or more for a private investigator that's licensed, you are eligible to apply for your private investigator license. And the third one is the one that yours truly took. And that is a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from an accredited university or college. The thing about that is, when you work on your bachelor's degree at the college level, they teach you this much about the world of private investigations. Nothing. You work on your bachelor's degree, criminal justice in Michigan, they teach you about juvenile justice, they teach you about corrections, they teach you a lot of law classes, not extensively like an attorney, but they do not teach you anything about being a private investigator. I did that route. I'm actually covered through, I've been licensed now going on 19 years, so I guess I got the second one under my belt too. It's been more than 3 years. But what we end up doing as a private investigator in Michigan, it's fascinating, it's interesting, I love it. Okay, so once you submitted, you're filling out your application to be a private investigator in Michigan. It goes through LARA, to the state of Michigan. You have to submit 5 letters of professional references, and they will call them. It could be doctors, lawyers, other private investigators, somebody in the professional industry that will vouch for you, saying you are of good character, good nature, and you have integrity. That's my word. If you go to our website, www.kencote.com, I'll put that on a link below. Definitely integrity's there. You have to have it. But anyway, so once you get those 5 letters in, you have to get a bond. I get a bond, and I'll tell you, when I first shopped around for a $10,000 bond, which is the minimum requirement in Michigan, I was getting quotes for $1,200, $1,400, $800. I found a place that I've been doing business with them now since I got my license almost 19 years ago. I pay $113 a month. It has yet to go up. That bond's good for 3 years. Your license is good for 3 years. So you renew them at the same time. Your license fee in the state of Michigan, $750. I know, creates chest pains. It's one of the highest rates in the whole country. Some states, $80, $50. Some states don't even require a license. But they require other things. They require the extensive, the tests and the exams that you have to take. You pay the $750, you're good for 3 years. You submit your bond that you paid. I can give you a reference on that in the future. Just message me. $113 for a 3-year bond. You're good for 3 years. After 3 years, your renewal is renew your bond again, renew your license. I believe it's $350. So at least it's better than $750. And if you let your license expire by 1 day, and I know this happened to somebody, you're looking at it right here, a few years back. I let it expire by 1 day, totally forgot about it. I had to go through the whole hoops again, the 5 letters of references. It was a pain. I had to go through all the forms and what have you. I'll explain to you about the tea and my background over here towards the end of this video. I know some of you are wondering why I'm sitting in front of a wood stove in my basement. So you submit, you get your license. It takes about 2.5 weeks. You'll get your license. Sometimes I hear you can do it all online now. They'll actually send you a confirmation within a few days, but your physical license will be mailed to you. They no longer require you to send in a photo. The licenses no longer have photos of them, which is good because some people like me can age in 3 years. I had them. Sometimes I have a full Santa beard. Other times I'm completely shaved, and I don't look the same. So it's like the driver's license. Who likes to get their photo taken, right? So now you are a private investigator in the state of Michigan. Oh, yay! What do I do with it? Well, I'm going to tell you, folks. If you think you're going to get your license and you're going to be at the starting gate and your phone's going to be ringing off the hook, I got some really sad news for you. It's not going to happen like that. I ended up working for a PI firm for 2 years because I didn't have any experience through my bachelor's degree. They gave me every inch of information I needed. I worked 75 hours a week. I was getting paid good. I call it an on-the-job training and getting paid very well. That company ended up not doing surveillances anymore and closed up, so I went on my own. I had my license already. I knew what I was doing. The phone still didn't ring off the hook. How do you get the business, Ken? Business cards, number one. People say, oh, that's old-fashioned. You don't need that. I got news for you. Business cards go a long way. Get a couple thousand cards to start off with. Everywhere you go, make yourself a goal. I am going to hand out or leave 10 business cards every time I leave that house or if I leave my office. You can meet somebody. Hi, how you doing? Hey, my name's Ken. If I can ever be of service for you. My famous saying that I like to use is, once they look at it, they say, oh, you're a private investigator. That's interesting. Everybody says it's interesting. It is interesting. Can it be boring? If you're doing surveillances 14 hours a day, 5 days a week in your vehicle, it can get boring. That's why I like to diversify myself. I know some investigators, they just do public defense work. They just do background checks. They do surveillances. They do murder cases, missing. I do it all. I don't have a dull moment. I cover all spectrums of the PI world. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. That happens in old age, I guess, right? But with these business cards, even if you don't come in contact with the person, if you are at a gas station pumping gas, stick a card on top of the pump. If you use a public bathroom, stick it on the sink. If you're going out for lunch downtown and you're going by an attorney's office that you're not familiar with, pop your head in there, introduce yourself, say to the receptionist, say, hey, my name is Ken Cody, I'm a private investigator, I'd like to drop you off. How many attorneys do you have in this office? Oh, we got 2 or 3. I did it once and they had 85, large one. And I'll show you that story in a second. And hand them out and say, could you give one to each one of the attorneys or put them in their mailboxes? Oh, absolutely. I did that when I first started off. I think I was in year number 2. I went to a firm that had 85. The lady said, there's 85 attorneys. I said, wow. I said, can I give you 85 business cards? And they had the mail slots. And she said, absolutely. I got one call from one attorney. Won't mention his name, large law firm. They have offices in Lansing, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids. I think they have one in Detroit now, so there are hundreds of them. Attorney called me and said, I'd like you to do some PIP work for us. Can you do some PIP work, interviewing people on auto accidents, personal injury protection issue? Absolutely. I ended up doing work for them for 7.5 years, and I was making, they were just one of my clients now. I was a contractor, I didn't work for them full time. And I ended up making a large chunk of money from them for 7.5 years. Very good. All by dropping off a business card. So use the business cards. Other ways you can advertise your business. Websites, yes and no. Websites are good. Nobody goes to websites and wants to click on all the other pages that you have. About us, contact us, all that stuff. I did all that. At one time, I think I had 13 pages on it, and I was able to keep track of how many times people were going to pages, and I found that 94%, I believe it was, never made it past the first page. You're going to bore people. They don't have time for that. I have a one page. If you look at it on your phone, you look at it on your laptop, your computer, one page. It has everything you need. Ken Cody Investigations. Integrity starts here. Little blue sky background, beautiful. Little bit of what we do, bullet points on some of our specials we do. Then a little box on the bottom, contact us for further information. They fill out 3 lines, name, address, telephone number, boom, they hit it. It sends off to my email. I get alerted, I contact them. Works out great. And on the bottom, I have a payment center. Shows the little credit cards, debit cards. Those are for my, and we're going to get into that in a second, for my domestic clients. And domestic clients are, Billy thinks his girlfriend or his wife is cheating on him, wants to hire me. You are a domestic client. A domestic client can be, I'm a local landlord, I want to rent to somebody. Can you do a background check? I want to see, if they have a lot of liens and stuff against them on other past landlords, I don't want to rent to them. They're a domestic client. I do retaining fees just like attorneys. You click on that, you can make your payment right there. I do not lift a pen, hit a key on the keyboard, or leave my office until I get my retaining fee. Why? Because I didn't collect retaining fees when I first started off. And true story, Valentine's Day 2008, this lovely lady called me up and said, Ken, I think my husband's cheating on me, and I think he's going to be hooking up with his girlfriend after lunch or after work today. Can I hire you? So I said, yeah, you can, but at the time I didn't do the retaining fees. She said, I can stop by and I'll give you a check. And she did. She gave me a check. I made sure it was good, it cleared. She hired me for 8 hours of surveillance. I ended up doing 12 because her husband was quite the active guy. Caught him buying flowers at lunchtime at a local florist. This lady wanted me to keep touch with her all day, what he was up to. But as an investigator, you don't tell your client, your domestic clients, where the subject is. You don't need them showing up over there and creating a hassle and hurting somebody or killing somebody. It's on you. So I informed this lady her husband bought flowers at lunchtime. I said, it looks like you're getting a nice bouquet of flowers today. After work, husband leaves his place of work. I'm starting my surveillance. My client texts me and says, he told me he's working till about 9 o'clock tonight. I said, well, that's very interesting because I'm following right now. He ain't at work. I followed him to a local motel. Pulls up. Nice looking young lady pulls out next to him. Embracing, kissing, sucking face, doing all the good stuff. And ba-bing, ba-bing, ba-bang. They're in the hotel room. Ended up doing 4 extra hours. Ended up almost like 10:30 at night. Contacted my client, begging me, Ken, where is she? I want to go there. I want to bag him. Nope. This isn't like cheaters you see on TV. So I said, hey, we're over our 8 hours. I said, I'll talk to you tomorrow about, getting additional funds. Long story short, I follow the dirty scum, low-life rat home. On the way home, he stopped at a 7-Eleven, which is no longer open, and bought a $1.99 little bouquet of those little mini tulips, not tulip, roses. And he comes, pulls in his driveway, and I'm videotaping a block away, goes out there, gets into the door, and it was comical, something you'd see on TV. Not even a minute later, you see him exiting the house and her throwing the little $1.99 bouquet of mini roses at him. Surveillance is over. Next day I call her, I said, I'm sorry that, you had to go through all of this. I said, can I stop by and pick up a check? And her exact words were, I'm not spending any more money until my divorce is final and I get a settlement from him because I can't afford it. I'm on my own now. I just threw him out. Well, long story short, I never got the additional 4 hours of pay. And I'll tell you, at that time it was $105 an hour, and this is going back, 16 years ago. And since then, retaining fees, folks, do a retaining fee. Get your money up front. Lawyers do it, you do it too. You are, in many cases, an extension of a lawyer. 90% of the time when things go to litigation, they go to court, a lawyer's involved. Lawyer's going to want your information that you got for your client, especially if you do defense work. Now, if you're working for attorneys directly, or if you're working for insurance companies, I give 30-day pay on invoice. I've never got stiffed by an attorney or an insurance company. Knock on wood, never. So that you have to cover yourself on all avenues because people will try to, and you will get some, let's just say, some people that are not all, maybe a few french fries short of a Happy Meal, where, they think somebody, the government implanted, this is a true story, implanted a GPS tracking device inside one of their fillings 20 years earlier, and they're being followed everywhere they go. And what we do as investigators, we do the right thing. We tell them it's not our expertise, and then we refer them to colleagues of ours, more as a, ha ha, I got a good one for you, and give it to them and let them deal with them. And then they call you back later and say, hey, thanks for the referral, you smart aleck. And that's happened. That's happened quite a bit. But anyway, that's how we do it in Michigan. But the other information is good for no matter where you are in this country, in this world. Oh, we're talking about advertisement. I do not. I pay zero. I think I pay about $60 a year for my website. That's it. And I made it myself. It's a one page. That's it. I use LinkedIn. Very important. Use LinkedIn. Not only for investigators, any professionals. Use LinkedIn. There's the premium, which is very expensive, and there's the free. They call me Cheapskate Cody. I've been using the free one now for 18 years. I have over 11,000 contacts, followers from around the world. And I say around the world, I had an investigator from the Netherlands contact me about 10 years ago. His client in the Netherlands hired him. She said he's working in America. He's working, doing a large commercial construction job. She thinks he's cheating. He turns around and hires me. Don't know who he is from a hole in the wall. Nice guy. Made me my multi-$1,000 deposit in the retaining fee. Ironic thing about that story is, halfway through that surveillance, it was a week-long surveillance. It was before Christmas, about 10 years ago, 2014. And found out that the guy that I was doing a surveillance on, his brother, was also here from the Netherlands doing construction work. And he was cheating on his wife. So I didn't double dip and charge. What I ended up doing was, if you want me to do additional surveillance on the brother, they would the two sister-in-laws, best of friends, they're in their PI's office in the Netherlands. I said, if you guys want to just, we're going to go 50% higher on the rate. They divided it. It saved them 25%, and I was there anyway. Anyway, LinkedIn, you can't beat it. If you Google Ken Cody, COTE, or Ken Cody Investigations, or Michigan Investigators, my name is going to pop up all over the place. I went to, what the heck is the name of that? It's like an eBay one. I can't remember. I haven't been on it in years. But I put a couple of posts on there for my services. I no longer do it. I'm still into the online social media platform. You can find me. Angie's List. I don't even know if that's still out there. 10 years ago, posted a whole bunch on there, but it still shows up. I used to have some blogs. I don't have blogs. My only social media right now is Facebook and LinkedIn, and I'm going to LinkedIn, Facebook, and here on YouTube. And I'm going to tell you, Facebook is wonders. Don't get caught up in the political trap and all that stuff that people do. Strictly keep it to your business. You don't see my political affiliation. Making sure I don't have any signs behind me here. I'm looking. Don't mix it up. But I post 3 times a week. I post on there little tidbits, how people can be safe in their home, leaving their key fobs by their nightstand. If they hear a noise outside the house at night, hit that panic button. Whoever's on your front lawn or at your door, they're going to be gone in a second. I share with them how the services that we offer for landlords, background checks, murder, missing people. And I'll tell you, folks, I do it for 2 reasons, and I'm going to be honest with you. I do 1 pro bono base, no cost to the client, case a year. I do it for, it's the right thing to do. I want to be able to help somebody that's missing a child, that's missing a long lost loved one. I do it out of that. But I'm going to be honest with you. It comes back tenfold. I have done cases where I have not charged people and worked a case, did a surveillance for them. And 3 years later, a relative remembered that I had worked that case for that family, hired me, and I made out very well on it. So that was the bonus part of it. So Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and business cards. I'm telling you, I'm not into mailing flyers no more. It doesn't work. I sponsor a donut stop. We have a large gravel road bike race out here in Michigan. I believe this year's going to be year number 6. It's called the Dirty Donut Race, and there's 3 pit stops when the bike riders, and there's 5 different races now. I think there's a 8-mile race, a 20-mile race, a 45-mile race, and I think there's like a 110 or 120-mile race. What the bikers do is they stop, take a break. It's like a rest area. We have a table of donuts. For every donut that they eat, we give them a little tally mark on the back of their numbers. They get 5 minutes knocked off of their time. Getting a little bit more into details, but I sponsor that, the first donut stop in Watson Township. I have 2 awnings. I got some volunteers that help me. We set up all the donuts. We have water for the riders, and I had a big banner, Ken Cody Investigations, with some business cards. I've got 2 cases out of that. Months later, hey Ken, I got your business card. You were sponsoring the Dirty Donut bike race. Hey, can you help me out? Stuff you can do with the smallest budget possible. Unless you print your business card yourself, you're still going to buy the ink and the card stock. You can, your Facebook is free, your LinkedIn's free, your YouTube's free. Use it to your advantage, folks. It's you can't beat it. Now, I'm going to let you go here. I've been talking your ear off. Why am I sitting here with a cup of tea? And it says, it takes a big heart to shape little minds. And on the back it says, let all that you do be done in love. I'm drinking tea because I also have a hobby, another YouTube channel called Meanwhile Back on the Hobby Farm. I will put a link on the bottom of this when I'm done too. I am a natural herb type of guy. Do I eat junk food? Yeah, I do, but I grow my own herbs. In here I have a tea ball. I have echinacea and spearmint. Spearmint is good for pain. I grow it. I have a large herbal garden outside. I dry my own herbs. And the echinacea is, I woke up this morning with a little bit of congestion. My eyes were running. My sinuses were draining. I feel better already. I'm only halfway done. No word of a lie. I'm going to get out of this chair for a second. You can't see it because it's behind the camera, but to show you, nothing to do with investigations, I know, but we have some catnip and stinging nettles. Just drying. I got to bring that in. I just harvested that. Stuff that I grow. Hey, we're going to go over to the stove over here. And I didn't put a belt on here, so I'm going to roll this up here. You don't want to see me lose my my draws. So I guess we're going to just take it right down here. We're going to show you what I'm up to. Today is a snow day. I have a home office. I've had many commercial offices. I'm doing the home. I love the home office. I was wearing my pajamas before I did this video. I'm home today, but we'll just show you what kind of day it is outside. Look at that. A lot of snow out there. Those are my grapevines. But this is my Granny Smith stove, and I got to show you what I'm doing. I have to put on a glove or I'll burn myself. I am cooking some homemade chili, and a lot of the ingredients except for the beef and the ground turkey, we canned ourselves. Look at that. Ta-da! Chili. You can't beat it, folks. Look at that, huh? In a cast iron double hutch. There we go. I can't even talk here. A Dutch oven. That's what I meant. A Dutch oven. But anyway, this is my Granny Smith stove, folks. Look at this, huh? Nothing to do with investigations, I know, but we're going to show you. Because they're going to tempt you to go to my Meanwhile Back on the Hobby Farm page, because I have a lot of my hobby farm. We have we're down to 76 animals. Most of them are rescues. Look at that, huh? That baby's hot. I got to throw in a couple of more logs in there. I burn solid wood oak, and it's heat treated, not pressure treated, but it's actually heat treated. So there's no moisture in it, no bugs. And I burn about 7 of these a day, but I'm going to be burning probably about 12 a day starting tonight because we have a cold front coming through. The wind chills are going to be in the teens tomorrow. But anyway, folks, we'll turn this around, I guess. Thank you for visiting us. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. I will put some link down below on some of the things that I covered on the video. Thank you, and I hope 2025 is a great year for everybody. I'm optimistic, and I'm excited, and hopefully it's going to be good for all of us. You take care.